venom and spirit, just how social media is robbing America of its free will. If you need proof that America is no longer governed by reason, all you need to do is look at
I want you to look at this picture. This is the cast of Cheers. Remember that show? Woody Harrelson God damn, I can't even remember half the names of these guys. But the interesting thing about this, all these people are under the age of 40. They're in their mid-30s. Kelsey Grammer is 28. Look at that. Does that look like 28 to you? Woody is like 21 or 22. He looks like he's 35. All these people look like they're in their 50s. I'm going to turn 50 this year. So, what point am I trying to make? I've noticed that our generation, I'm at the tail end of Gen X, and then there's the Millennials. We're all aging like incredible. Like, we look way younger. Now, internally, we're all the same mess. Like, nobody's living longer. Like, the death rates are not that much better than they were. Mortality, all that. Like, so we're still suffering from the same issues that they had. But looks wise, we all look incredible collectively. And I was wondering why that was. Why is it? And if you look at like the internet age, what happened as my generation transitioned to the millennials? Well, a couple of things. We're no longer busting our asses, like doing manual labor, and we're not outside all day soaking up that sun. The sun ages you, man. A lot less of us are drinking, smoking. Like that's gone by the wayside. That used to be like everybody used to smoke and drink. Now it's like kind of looked down upon. So there's a lot of reasons why, but I think the big reason is because we no longer go outside in the sun. We are all basement dwellers, you know what I mean? We all stay inside, we work inside, we don't do hard manual labor. But even like looking at the iron workers, the guys I work with, even they look pretty good for their age. They're all rough. All of them are rough, but they don't look old. They still look pretty young. So it's like not even really dependent on, the kind of work you do. And I'm wondering if it's like technology's better. We all have glasses that are UV protected. We all wear hard hats so we're not exposed to the sun. We all like wear long sleeve shirts, and we do things to protect ourselves. And I don't think they used to do that back in the day, like at all. As a matter of fact, when I first started construction, I don't recall seeing that one bit. Cool, man. What is my point? Where am I going with this? It's like, okay, we're all aging beautifully. But we're not taking care of ourselves. The obesity epidemic in this country is just beyond. Oh my God, the rates of people that have diabetes, pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetics, like that's God. It's all diet related. Like we're eating garbage, and I am not above it. Like I love my donuts and cookies, man. Just like the next person. I follow what's called the 80-20 rule. So I try to. I'm not always perfect, but. And that's with everything I do. Lifting, working, everything. I'm not always successful. One of the things I struggle with is work-life balance, spending time with the family. But generally speaking, what is the 80-20 rule? Well, 80% good, 20% whatever you want. So if you do 80% clean eating and you watch your diet, your caloric intake, and the foods you're eating, you're not eating processed garbage, you can identify what's on your plate as something that used to exist on this planet, well, then 20% of that can be Krispy Kreme donuts, ice cream. Generally, it's just moderation. That's all it is. And I do the same thing with training. I follow the 90-10 rule with training. So I would say 10% of my training is heavy lifting, super heavy, stupid ego lifting, 10%. And the rest is all those silly lifts where I'm trying to take care of myself. All the physical therapy, the stretching, all that. And I am having the time of my life. I'm just having a blast. God, I love it. I finally found a job where I'm working with all friends, and there's a lot of political problems with my work, and there's a lot of underhanded nastiness that I deal with behind closed doors. But I try to stay away from that, and when I'm in the field with the guys I'm working with, I'm friends with all of them. I love it. I love going to work every day. Have you ever had a job where you wake up in the morning and you're excited to go to work? Well, I don't either. But I like my job. I mean, for most days, I'm cool with it. Like, I'm happy to go in. I'm not a morning person. I got to tell you, like, sometimes I got to get up at 3, 4 in the morning, and it just sucks. There's no way around it. But the work itself, I'm usually, like, I'm looking forward to getting in there and hanging with the guys. It's like, when you work with friends, people that you just enjoy being around, you can be the most miserable task in the world, and it is just so much better. Oh my God. Like, in every job that I've had, Richardson was really good. Shelby and her girls, all those people, they were awesome. That was like family. But that was a job where I was kind of stuck there, and I worked night shifts, and, the work-life balance wasn't that great. I enjoyed the job. I liked the people I worked with, but the job itself had some problems, and it was not good for my health. This job, I've got a company truck. I've got all of Las Vegas. I can go and come and go as I please. And, as long as I'm taking care of what I need to take care of and I'm doing my job, I have 100% complete autonomy, and I love it. I love it. And you know what? All the guys seem to be, we're all on board where it's like we're all on the same page. It's so much fun. Training, training's training. What can I say? The issue I have, one thing the problem I can't seem to solve is twofold. My wife, I love more than life itself, and she's injured. So she busts her butt for the first part of the day, gets all of her chores done, does all the things. Like, she's an awesome mom. She totally takes care of the house, and we have kind of a homestead, so it's a lot of work. And then the second half of the day, she's kind of wiped out, She's hurting. She's laid up. So I get home, and then I'm in the garage, and I'm training, and I'm doing my thing. And I want to spend time with her. And I go in and sit down, and all she can really do is watch TV, and I just wind up falling asleep. It's like we're not spending really good quality time together. And every day I go home thinking, like, okay, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna just hang out with her. We're gonna spend time. And I just find myself getting antsy. I don't want to sit there. It's not. I like watching. It's so weird. We watch the same shows. We enjoy the same stuff. Where everything she's into, I'm into. But I just can't sit there, man. And I don't know what to do about it because I think she feels like I don't want to spend time with her, and that's just not true at all. I love her, man. I just it bums me out that she's laid up. It sucks, and I feel so bad for her because, like, I feel helpless. I feel like there's nothing I can do. When I'm coming home from work, I'll stop and like yesterday, I bought her a heated massaging wrap for her neck. And she loves it. It was working pretty good for her. I do things like that. Her knee was hurting, so I bought her knee sleeves and things of that nature. I do my best to try to take care of her. But then, like, being at home, spending quality time, I don't really know what to do. It's like, we have our good days where we go out and do stuff, and it's a blast. I love it. It's the most fun I have in my life. But then there's other days where it's just like, I don't know. I feel like a bad husband. I feel like a bad person. And that's like the big issue that I'm dealing with. Like, we all have problems. Like, everybody's got a cross to bear. And mine seems to be that balance between, training to compete, doing all the stuff I love to do, working, and spending quality time with the family. It's like I feel like I'm not doing it right, and I don't know how to do it. But one thing I can say for sure is I care very much. Like, they're my world. My kids, my wife, everything I do is for them. I mean, obviously powerlifting's for me. Painting Warhammers, can't say that's for my wife. I got a few things, but you know, work, everything, like all the money I make, everything goes. It's for the family. Like there's nothing I want. I'm not going out and buying new cars and fancy clothes and doing, I'm not. I have no real material needs. So that all goes back to the family. That's cool, man. I got that down. The providing thing, I got it. I'm taken care of. It's the emotional needs. That's where I've fallen short. And I gotta figure it out. You know, I'm working on it. I really am. Feel like I'm a kid. I'm a 50-year-old adolescent, and I carry that demeanor everywhere I go. I feel young. I act young. And then I pay the price because then life reminds me how old I am and I'm sore and hemmed up the next day. But you know what? Like I'm still getting after it. I'm still doing all the things I love to do. And now that I'm healthy and my body works, I am so beyond blessed. I love life, you know? You might think, well, this guy's manic because he was depressed the other day. I do suffer from clinical depression. So when that overtakes me, it takes me to a really dark place, right? And but what I've learned is how to get out of it. So I'll wallow in it a little bit, and sometimes I'll express what I'm going through on a YouTube video and, bounce ideas off of you guys. But what I've learned is I've learned how to dig myself out of that. A lot of it is like gratitude and just, focus on the important things. When I get to a dark place where I just don't want to do anything, all I want to do is just sit there in the dark and exist, I'll pick something. Just do one thing. Like like Jordan Peterson says, clean your room. Or I'll straighten the garage, or I'll do the dishes. And then that task usually takes mind off everything, and then you accomplish something, and you feel pretty good, and it gets you out of it. And then next thing you know, you're going. You're back on track. Get back after life. That's what this training is that I'm doing here today. The trap bar is my way to remind my body, hey, you're lifting heavy. It's easier than the regular deadlift bar. It's got a 4-inch range of motion advantage. You can stand up a little straighter, so it's not as hard on the back and the knees, and it turns the deadlift into more of a squat movement. And you can just load that thing up and go ham. Now, I mean, hey, 700 pounds is still 700 pounds. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a nice way to kind of snap back into the mode of like we're lifting heavy. You know what I mean? So that's what today's training is. And I recommend that for anybody. Anybody, like if you're struggling with lifting, and you pick something you're good at and get an easy win. You know what I mean? Do a lift you can do well. Go heavy. Get your mind right, and then get after it. Once you're in that mode, keep going. Don't relent. Don't let up. All right. Oh, I'm supposed to go to the office. I came home. Oh, I gotta get. I'm supposed to drive to the office. It's right by the house, and I came home. All right. I love you guys. I will see you on the battlefield.
Tarakas grabbed Epetius's weapon, a narrow bore handgun. Then it had fallen, trained it on his brother around. The rat beast's eyes had glowed with the same infernal hate that the sergeant had seen even the traitors had crypt. And suddenly, he had no doubt as to what quarry they were tracking. Corica seemed to sense his intentions and nodded his consent. Tarakas whispered a litany under his breath and pressed down the trigger stone, engulfing Corica with myriad attackers. Reeds of glowing orange flame. The bird of his creatures hissed and spat, catching a blaze and falling away from the Marine tail. Corica shrugged off the licking flames, beating down.
You're pretty hard.
His breath coming in hard.